Go.
Today we're going to do a little demonstration video on how to properly set up a Miller XMT 304 inverter power supply to do shielded metal arc welding or SMAW welding. Now there's a couple things we need to do first. The first thing we need to look at is the power supply for the main power shutoff. The red handle here is used only if we're going to do maintenance on the machine. There is no reason for the student to need to turn off the red power supply. The regular power supply on this machine, the power switch is right on the front here. Don't turn the switch on yet. There's a few things we need to do before we go ahead and energize the machine. The first thing we need to do is we need to think that this process is going to use direct current electrode positive, DCEP for short. What that means is our electrode holder, also known as the stinger, needs to plug in to the plus side. Now when we plug in the stinger to the plus side, this kind of connector is called a twist lock. The reason being is you line it up and then you twist it about 180 degrees and it locks it in there. So our electrode holder goes to the plus side, our ground clamp or our work lead goes to the minus side. That's very important for this process. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make our initial adjustments on our machine. So we'll scope in here a little closer and we're going to open up the front of the panel, and there's a few things we need to look at in here. The first thing we need to look at is this dial right in the middle sets it up for what process we're going to do. You'll notice right now that it is set to the stick mode, which stick is also another a slang term for SMAW welding that we're going to be doing today. Now the next thing we need to look at is we need to make sure that our control switch here is set to panel, because that means any adjustments that we make are going to work on the panel. If we set it in the remote, that means we're going to have a remote controlled amperage and voltage adjustment, and we're not using that. That's for a different process. So once in review, we want to set this one on panel, this one on stick. This one is called the inductance or the arc force. We want that one in the 50, right at the top. That keeps it balanced. Now we've got our initial adjustments made here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to close this. We're going to reach up here. We're going to flip the switch up, and now the machine is energized. When the machine is energized, the electrode is hot all the time. Make sure you pay attention to that, because right now this machine is energized and electrically live. The next thing we want to do is, for using an E6010 electrode with a 1/8 diameter, we want to try to use about 85 to 95 amperage as a good initial adjustment. So we come over here where it says VA, which means it's short for voltage and amperage adjustment, and then as you can see, as we turn the knob, the amperage goes up and down. So we want that to be between 85 and 95 right now. So let's go up here, and there we go. We're at approximately 95 amps, which now we're good to start welding.